Hello, it's Doug here. Today I'm at Ruffey Lake Park in Doncaster in the first permanent disc golf course in Melbourne. We're about 25 kilometres east of the Melbourne CBD, and we are going to play the 2023 layout. It was updated about 18 months ago, I guess now. The old Ruffey Lake basically didn't have any concrete tee pads, which we do have now. We have basically an 18-hole course, 9 tee pads, 18 baskets divided into a yellow and a blue course. The park is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The course only uses a small percentage of the park, but occasionally we get a tournament such as the Vic Open or the Ruffey Rumble or Melbourne Celebrates where we get to use a lot more of the park, and there certainly are some iconic holes that you can play. The park gets very busy. I was here on a weekday at about 10 o'clock in the morning. I think it was the 19th of June. We're pretty much at the winter solstice. It was very cold, probably one of the coldest mornings Melbourne's had in years. There was frost on the ground, and we're away. I think I'll just talk right through this. And yeah, I just threw my electron spin off the tee there. As you can see, there is just frost everywhere, and putting was tricky. My fingers were so cold, but we got a birdie there. I had actually played a social day 3 days earlier and had a -5. I think my PB on this layout is -8 or -9. So anything under par I'm happy with. If you're having a bad day at Ruffey, you can have a really bad day. Anyway, that was the snake pit hole. Basically, I try and avoid the left at all costs because you can lose a disc, and apparently there are snakes down there. I've never seen one, but apparently it's a thing. So always happy to take a par on hole 2, and yeah, so -1 through 2, and that's okay. Hole 3, there are 2 options here. You can go right gap or left gap. I tend to go left gap. I threw my elasto anvil. Fingers were absolutely freezing, so the elasto anvil is nice and gummy, and I got it down there. This is a pretty obstructed look. I wasn't really expecting to make this putt, so just happy to take a par here. So just trying to line up a few options. There were a few trees right in the line, so decided to go straddle and just do a little alley-oop hyzer putt, and yeah, very lucky. Kind of feel like I pinched one there. So I'll take that. Now this hole has taken me about a year to work out because I can't really throw downhill or uphill, but I've just worked out take very small steps and just throw very slowly, otherwise I just shank it into that tree on the right. So I threw my Atlas there and it worked beautifully. 3 days earlier I threw it straight into the ground about halfway down the hole, but same disc, different result, and yeah, take a birdie there. As you can see, the park is very quiet. It was really cold, even though it's about 10:30 in the morning at this stage. So hole 5, 95 metre, but it's pure uphill. So I've been messing around throwing sidearms uphill lately with shrikes, and I got that one away. That was okay. I'm not too far away at all there, so it's just a simple spin to pitch up. And I thought this was going in, but it didn't. So, but again, just take a birdie. This course is really short. The new layout is a little shorter and a little friendlier, I believe. And yeah, it's a course I don't panic at. If I have a run of pars, I don't worry too much about that because I feel like I've got 17 potential birdies here. It's just hole 11. I really haven't worked out how to birdie. But every other hole, yeah, I feel like I've got a chance. So yeah, that was hole 6, and I took a birdie there. I got a bear. It hit some late trees, but just fell down near the basket. Hole 7's a tricky one. I usually go right side, but it's a bit boggy over there at the moment, so I'm taking the Tim Stevenson line through the middle. But I landed right in the bog, so I just pitched up there for an easy par, or maybe not. Now that was my berg, and I've been throwing that berg for 2 years, and I don't think I've ever seen it roll away, but that's Ruffey for you. So yeah, from out of nowhere comes a bogey. It can happen, but I can't complain. That upshot was fine. The only mistake was I just put it straight on the pole and got the consequences. So hole 8, I think I'm throwing a Terra. Yep, just a little bit of extra grip, throwing an Electron Terra. Got it up there, fairly close. Fingers are really cold, so I can't remember what happened here. I think, yeah, that was probably my worst putt of 2024. So we'll just take a par there and move along. Hole 9, very small very short par 3, just got to get it through a little gap. I undercooked this a little. I probably should have thrown it a little harder, but if I throw my bird, I get a little harder, it goes straighter, and I end up with a weird putt. So this was a little bit of a nervous putt, but considering how cold it was. But yeah, I got that in, so I think we're -5 through the first 9. Now I did play dual tee here, so I threw the first tee and the 10th tee at the same time, so I'm just editing it together. So throwing an Elasto anvil. Again, a little bit of a longish look with freezing cold fingers, but we get that in. So we're -6 through 10 holes, and we're on our way to a good round. But we've got one of the harder holes, hole 11, the snake pit on the left. Now I played with Albie on Sunday, and he basically just threw these beautiful turnover backhands through here. I tend to throw a forehand, but find it's very easy just to throw it straight into the woods down the hill. So I channeled Albie, just thought I'll try it, and it worked fine. So that was an underworld. Got to the yellow basket, so I should file that one away. But I have a putt for par on the blue basket, and I get that in. We're -6 through 11 holes, I think. Now, camera malfunction, it happens once or twice around. I tend to control the camera with the watch. So basically I turn the camera off instead of on with my Apple Watch, and so I didn't get my tee shot. But I went right gap and I got down to here, which is a longish look. It's still a bit of a downhill approach shot, and this green is very fast, so you just want to land it flat. I didn't do that. I just put it straight up in the air and just made life a lot harder for myself. Wasn't really expecting to make this comebacker, but I've just been trying to putt very smoothly lately, and I got that in for a par I probably should not have got after that upshot, which wasn't great. So back to our longer downhill par 3. I think I'm throwing my crave here. I was expecting it to flip up and just flatten out, but no, it just held the hyzer line down the hill. So I'm a long way away here. So I just want to bump up a forehand berg and take a par if I can. So I got that fairly close, and that was a pretty regulation tap in. So we move along. Oh, that's right, someone had left a water bottle next to the basket, so I went into Bald Hill mode, where every round I'm picking up 3 or 4 pieces of trash at Bald Hill, so do the same at Ruffey. So again, we've got our uphill to the blue basket shot, so I threw my other shrike, and I pretty much landed on top of my first shrike, so they were both there together. So this is just a slightly longer approach shot, and I'm just throwing my gatekeeper. Got it nice and close. If you can get the tee shot away, these are 2 pretty easy birdies. You just don't want to hit the cage and end up rolling back down the hill. So take that. Now, hole 15, this is probably the hardest hole on the course for me, so I'm just throwing a destroyer through the right gap, hit a tree, dump down. So, okay, I'm thinking par here. So, yeah, pretty slopey, treacherous green here, easy to roll away, so I'm just trying to lay my berg up, match the slope of the green, and I threw it in. Wasn't intending to do that at all. I don't know where that would have ended up if the chains hadn't got in the way. And I've absolutely robbed a birdie there. Just was not expecting that at all. So -8, which I think is close to a PB at Ruffey for me. And we are on to hole 16. And I'm throwing the Tim Stevenson gap again, but I actually got it a little left and snuck through. So I have a longish look for birdie, but just absolutely nowhere near it. So we'll just bump in a par there. So I think we're -8 through, I don't know, 2 holes to go. So quite happy with this round. I would take it any day. Hole 17, par 3, slightly uphill. You want to basically turn something over through a gap. I always hit that tree just on the right there, and I think I hit it again. I forgot to film my putt. I think the watch malfunction happened again, but you can just see the blue disc on the ground there. I was parked, and that was a very easy birdie, probably the easiest birdie of the day. And hole 18, just a fairly straight putter shot. I'm throwing my Atlas, and I just got it on a slight ante, and the Atlas will obey any command. It is the most neutral disc ever, so if you put it on an ante, it says, right, I'm going on an ante. So I'm deep deep in the bushes here, just looking for a line out. I sort of had a line, and I could almost have got that in, I think, if I'd just thought about it a little better, but we'll take a par, we'll take a -9, and that is 18 holes at Ruffey. Thank you for watching 18 holes at Ruffey Lake on the 2023 updated layout. It's a lot safer than the old layout where you didn't have concrete tee pads and discs were flying everywhere, and you were basically, I just found it a little dangerous, very muddy, lots of tree roots that you had to navigate teeing off and things like that. So this is much better. It's a little shorter. I think it's a stroke or two easier, but it's still pretty technical. And like hole 2 and hole 11, they've toughened that up by putting the Mando in, and it's just lovely. I'm not sure what I had. I know I had a bogey, and I know I pinched a few birdies that I wasn't expecting, so I'm gonna guess I had about 7 under, but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't really score while I'm playing. I just punch it all in later, but it feels like about 7 under, which is about right, I think. I had 5 under at a social day, and they're usually a few strokes worse, so yeah, I would take 7 under here any day. So yeah, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.